Ministry of Itoke from FS. Thank you very much. Chief Guest address.
Well, good morning to everyone here. I have come here today to talk face to face, especially with our cane farmers and with our landowners, to discuss how we can work together to find new ways to help build our growing economy. Make no mistake, our game plan for our sugar industry is about keeping our cane industry at the heart of our economic growth. And our work with our Itoke landowners is about giving you the tools you need to develop your land and get the most of your land resources, so that all of you, our farmers and our landowners, can have the assurance and stability you need to do well by yourselves and your families. I'd like to speak with all of you about the number of issues that affect our cane farmers and, of course, our landowners. I do so as your Prime Minister, and I do so because I'm driven to make life better for my fellow Fijians, ordinary people like yourselves who deserve to know that when you work hard, that work will be rewarded and that you and your families will benefit. My commitment extends beyond any one industry. It drives my government's entire agenda to give all of our people an equal shot at doing well in our growing economy. It extends to the protections we put in place to give every Fijian equal status and equal protection under the law, and the chance to give their children access to even greater opportunities. To improve the lives of every Fijian, my government is spending a great amount of money on roads, on water, on electricity and other services. I know some of you may still not have access to electricity or piped water, but many of you now enjoy these services for the first time. And my government will continue its program of extending them to as many people as possible across the country. We have also provided a lot of money for education, free schooling, free textbooks, and subsidized transportation to school. We've massively expanded access to scholarships and tertiary loans to enable many of our young people, as well as old people. You'll see a story in the Fiji Sun today, your children and grandchildren to gain access to higher learning. Those scholarships are being granted on the basis of merit and merit alone, so that any child, including the children of any farmer anywhere in Fiji, can earn good marks and go on to university and earn qualifications to get better jobs, start their own business, and participate in our wider economy. I'd like to speak directly to our cane farmers here today. I'd like to begin by recognizing all of you for the work you put in every day to build this industry. You are among the hardest working people in Fiji, and my government supports you and stands with you now and always. When it comes to the sugarcane industry, there was no question that it was in steady decline until my government intervened to put it on a better footing. For example, the amount of cane needed to produce sugar has been drastically reduced by making the processes more efficient. As you know, those cane farmers and the sugar millers, the TCTs just a few years ago was about 13 or 14. Last year, it was just over 9. That's a drastic improvement from what we used to have before. We've set aside unprecedented funding towards capital programs this financial year. In total, the budget toward the sugar industry was increased to $60 million, nearly double last year's allocation. And with our support, cane production in 2018 is anticipated to reach close to 2 million tons. Too often we hear big promises from everyone, especially the opposition, but we don't hear real solutions. They talk about giving $100 per ton, but they never talk about how to bring down the actual cost base for your cane. And that is the only way you'll really see bigger profits now and over the long term. Only when we bring down the cost of production can we put this industry on a real path to a more sustainable and profitable future. That is why my government has given wide-ranging assistance that is seriously lowering your cost base. We are boosting cane production and improving extension services transportation, and harvesting. We've helped transfer new and better technologies to farmers. We've set aside nearly $16 million for the cane replanting program, and that major funding increase has led to 5,671 hectares planted in 2017 compared to 3,900 last year. In 2016. Still, our reports indicate that we have 30,000 hectares of land that remains idle or underutilized. So I encourage all of you to take advantage of this grant to plant more cane. My government introduced a fertilizer subsidy in 2009, and in the last budget, we've made that subsidy even more generous, lowering the price paid by our farmers to only $20 a bag from what it was before. I think it was $43 a bag. And we've seen a fertilizer sale increase of nearly 40% since January last year. So keep taking advantage of this great subsidy. I know many of you face ongoing issues with labor shortages. That is why we've made a big push towards mechanized farming. We've assisted 21 cooperatives with $90,000 each deposit payments on mechanical harvesters. 21 cooperatives with $90,000 each. Already we've increased the total percentage of cane harvested by mechanical harvesters from 8% last year to 18%. My government also introduced a new $6.3 million weedicide subsidy program this financial year, aimed at helping our cane farmers maximize the yield of their harvest through assistance in paying for the herbicides that are necessary to protect their crops. Now our farmers are paying only 45% of the total price. Through our sugarcane rehabilitation and small grant scheme, my government has set aside $1 million for supplies like fencing materials, pumps, and water tanks, all of which will allow our smaller sugarcane farms to keep pace in a rapidly changing industry. My government has also continued to pay the sugar levy to the Sugarcane Growers Council, taking the burden off farmers by covering all of the council's administrative costs. And as we've promised, we covered the entire cost for all cane that was transferred from the Penang mill area to the Rairawai mill. So no farmer was unable to supply their cane, despite some very bold and very false claims from people from some quarters. We've made the ministry more responsive to farmers' complaints and concerns through the establishment of toll-free lines, and the FSC can be reached at 0800 666 1972. That's an easy number to remember. Friends, I'm also chair of the TLTB, as you know. I have directed the TLTB and also Lands Department to ensure that for all leases that are expiring, the lessee must be told 5 years in advance whether the lease is to be extended or not renewed. No longer will you be in danger of finding out just before the lease expires that you have to leave. This gives you certainty and enables you to make proper plans to find somewhere else to live. It is about giving leaseholders security and peace of mind to enable them to properly manage their affairs and their lives. As you all know, we are now in an election year, but you also know my commitment to each of you does not depend on what's on the political agenda and the political calendar. I've always been right here at the grassroots level with you, our cane farmers, hearing you out, updating you on what's happening and about where this industry is headed. My commitment is unwavering, and it does not depend on anything. That it is my own personal commitment to you, your families, and our beloved Fiji. Unfortunately, we can all expect that in the lead up to the election, my opponents will come with the same doomsday predictions for this industry and their same false promises. They don't have belief in your potential or in industry. They don't have real plans, and they don't have real interest in your well-being. For them, it's all about politics. It's all about how you can help them, and never the other way around. Remember, securing a future for this industry isn't about smiles and sitting around the grog bowl spinning fantasies. It is about leadership. It is about direction. It is about having a strategic vision and plan for this industry. It is about being honest, telling the situation as it is, and being clear about what is necessary moving forward. I've always been honest, and I always will be. And I've always been here for you, and I always will be. And I've always had a plan for this industry, and we are steadily realizing my government's vision. And I also like to take time to speak directly to our landowners. My government is dedicated to not only preserving and protecting native Itaukei land, as we have enshrined in our constitution, but also to promoting new ways for it to become a stream of income for you, your children, and your grandchildren to rightfully enjoy. And we are making good on our promises. More Itaukei lands are steadily being reverted back to Itaukei land owning units. More land is being freed up for farming and development, and in effect, more money is in the pockets of tens of thousands of Fijian farmers and landowners. Government continues to support the Sibul initiative, which we have heard of my announcement yesterday, which was set up specifically in 2010 by my government to assist farmers in the renewal of their agricultural leases, while at the same time providing incentive to landowners to give their unutilized land for leasing. Sibul has turned out to be a clean win-win situation, and the relationship for not only our farmers and landowners, but also for the Fijian economy. Just this week, government released a Sibul payment of $3.72 million to the Itaukei Land Trust Board to be distributed to a total of 1,479 land-owning units and 138,899 individual members' bank accounts at Yavusa, Matangali, and Toko level who have given their consent to renew agricultural leases under the Sibul initiative. This most recent payout adds on to an impressive total. Since 2010, my government has paid out more than $50 million, and the impact is clear. The renewal rate of agricultural leases has increased from 47% 7 years ago to over 80% as of December 2017. I'm also pleased to note TLTB's recent progress in facilitating the return of Schedule A and Schedule B lands to the Itaukei landowners who need them. After proper due diligence, this initiative has now been fast-tracked and is nearing completion. TLTB has already allotted a full 95% of Schedule A lands and 87% of Schedule B lands to their land-owning units. We are here to help determine how best to help our landowners make the most of their land. But the only way we can do so is through an open and facilitative dialogue. We are here to learn, we are here to listen, and we are here to help you grow both yourself, grow your business by extension, and by extension grow all of Fiji. With their constant input, we are working to lay the groundwork for a system that is predictable and allows both landowners and tenants to plan for the future. I hope that through this consultation session this morning will bring us both progress and clarity. We have gathered a capable team here today, and they are at your disposal. Please take advantage of this valuable opportunity. We have members of the TLTB board and members of the sugar industry here, but also in addition, members of the bureaucrats from all government departments that would help you, that would assist you in terms of electricity, water, roads, but also the Commissioner of Police is here, and so as well as the Assistant Commissioner of Prison Correctional Services, who may answer any questions that you have with regards to law and order and stability. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my statement in opening this consultation this morning.